Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Nikki the Bombshell Biker, and let's go for a little ride today. So today it is a beautiful day in Southern California. I think it was like 82 today. End of January, already 82. Some days living in Southern California is not too shabby. So today on our little adventure, I would like to talk about my weekend last weekend. I, for the very first time since getting my bike, felt like a real biker. And I know that sounds silly, but it's true. Like I said in my first video, I have always driven support. Like I was always the backup car, or I've been on the back of people's bikes, or, you know, I just really started riding my own bike recently this year, or last year. And for me, like, I've never really felt like a real biker. Like, yes, my name is Bombshell Biker. Yes, I own a motorcycle. I can ride said motorcycle by my onesies. But I didn't always feel like a real biker. I kind of, like, I always hear those, like, weekend warriors, and that makes me so mad. Mainly because some of us don't have the luxury of getting on our bikes all the time. Some of us have to work normal jobs really far away from home. Normally my commute to work is an hour long. And I do that Monday through Friday. Not a bad thing. Like, I literally signed up for it. But, you know, I don't always want to ride my bike out to work because A, I work in the Palm Springs area, which means during the summer it gets to be 120 plus. B, it also gets 20 to 30 mile per hour winds on the regular. It's a rare occasion for it to not be windy there. I don't feel comfortable riding in really extreme wind. It gives me anxiety in my car. I suffer from crippling anxiety, and just, you know, being thrown around on the bike like that, not how I want to start my day or end my day. I work a very stressful job, not in like other people's jobs are less stressful. It's just I have to be on all 9 hours I'm there. So I really like to be my best self for my patients. And so sometimes my best self likes to sit in the car. And in 120, she really likes air conditioning. But anyways, getting back to this last weekend. So this last weekend, we unfortunately were out riding for a friend of ours named Justin. He was mine and the Beard's riding coach, and when we took our CSMR safety course, and he was one of those guys that never met a stranger, and we only got to know him for a very brief time, but he was super supportive of the Beard and myself, and, you know, one of the first likes on our Instagrams every time we posted a picture. And unfortunately his life was cut tremendously short, and so his services were on Saturday. And before his services, they said they wanted to do like a little quick group ride around Riverside before we went to the American Legion, where they were having his celebration of life. And so the unfortunate part is that he couldn't be there with us, because it was a day I think he would have been very proud of the Beard and myself, and I think a day he would have just enjoyed being on his bike. And the reason I still have this white bandana on my bike is because they asked us to put something white on our bike because he had a big white victory, and it was his pride and joy. It was beautiful. And he, so that was his baby, you know, and so we put something white on ours. I left my bandana on just because I wanted to talk about it, and B, you know, Justin gets to come riding with me a little bit more. On our way to the services, like to the meetup before the ride, before the services, we had to take the 60 freeway, which is incredibly intimidating in a car. I've never ridden it on my bike because it freaks me out in my car. It's a road that's very windy, very narrow, and is notorious for people getting in tragic accidents. On top of that, it was also 20 mile per hour winds that day. Again, like I said, I don't ride when it's really windy. I just don't feel comfortable. But for Justin, I couldn't not ride. So I put my big girl panties on, got on my bike, and rode. And let me tell you, I've never felt Justin more with me than when I was riding that day. And I normally would have fallen apart in a panic attack and not been able to, you know, function but I was able to pull it together, and I didn't even feel anxious. I was just enjoying the trip. And so the really cool thing was we made it there kind of early, which is nice. I'm one of those people that you're better early than late, and if you're on time, you're late. So I like to be places early. And so we got there, and like I've said, I grew up doing a bunch of group rides, like driving support, and so most group rides will start with like a rundown of like where you're going, you know, staggered formation or single file, doing this into the turns. If we get broken up, like these are the routes we're taking, like 215 to the 60 to the blah blah blah. Yeah, there was none of that, and which is fine. You know, I can play follow the leader, but you could tell a lot of these people did not group ride. And this is the first time I've ever ridden in a group with people I didn't really know aside from test rides. Like, we did a demo day at our local Indian dealer, and like that was fine, but it was a much smaller group. Like, I think that, oh, okay, fine, whatever. Just come on out. But there were like 20 people on bikes at the service, like on the ride to the services, and that's bigger than the group I've ever ridden with personally. You know, that I wasn't in my car behind them. So okay, like we get on the freeway, whatevs, cruising right along. Well, there was no contingency for like, oh, it's Riverside, so there's a lot of traffic. Just there is. No one said anything about that. And so when we hit traffic, instead of like everybody moving as a cohesive unit, which I'm used to, it was a scatter and like everybody on their own. Fend for yourself. Hope you can figure out how to catch up with us. Good luck, Godspeed. So for the first time, really ever, I felt like I really had to be able to keep up with a lot stronger riders, you know? And like I've said before, like I'm not a great rider. I'm a good rider. Like I can get myself from A to B. I feel confident in my bike and stuff, but it was the first time I kind of had to like, all right, suck it up, Buttercup, let's go, and like maneuver through people and cars and the craziness that is downtown Riverside traffic. And for me, that was really important because, you know, as helpful as the beard is when I ride and how nice it is to have him there and in my helmet often, I think I rely on him too much sometimes. And so on Saturday, I didn't have him really like I think because it was such an overpopulated area, the pack talks weren't working as well, which is fine, but so I was kind of on my own, which was really cool because I was able to keep up, hold my own, and ride really well with a bunch of people. Like, honestly, a good majority of these people were instructors. So knowing that I had the confidence to keep up with them was dope. And, like, I've never felt that confident in my riding before. And so that was really, really awesome. And for me, it was kind of one of those, like, thanks, Justin moments. Because, like, it was the riding that he really instilled in me, and the tips and tricks and the, you know, how to be safe and how to be aware of those things and how to maneuver around those kinds of things that he really pushed, that really made a difference there. And I'm super, super grateful for that. And so for me, it was very much like a, wow, like, Justin's with me all the time. Like, I know I always say, like, I'll hear his voice whenever I put my keys in the bike, but I do, and I never felt him more than I did on Saturday, and that was really, really awesome. And then after that, you know, we went to the services and, you know, said goodbye-ish, more of like a see you later for me. I don't like to say goodbye, I like to say see you later. Like, even when my mom died, like, it was like, hey mom, like, I'll see you, like, I know you're here, and I'm not saying goodbye because I know you're with me always. And for Justin, it's, you know, it's a see you later. Like, I know I'll feel you when I ride. I'll know you're with me riding. Like, you know, little white bandana, I know you're always with me. So then after that, the beard and I went and got lunch. And then our kiddos were actually out at my sister's house because it was my nephew's birthday party. And so I had to go pick them up from the Palm Springs area where they live. And, I was really sick last week. I had a really bad, like, sinus upper respiratory thing that led to a bunch of fluid behind my eardrums. And so it left me with, some vertigo that we discovered at lunch that day. And the beard asked, you know, can you ride home? And I was like, well, I kind of don't have a choice. Like, I rode my bike, you rode your bike. Like, I don't have a car, we don't have anybody else. So, like, yeah, Yes, I am. So I took streets most of the way, which, oh, all right, sassy pants. Which is fine. I enjoy taking streets. And what was really cool was I was driving through downtown Redlands, kind of like I am right now, and I was at a stoplight, and this older guy on a big old Harley, forgive me, I don't know the names of Harleys. Sorry about it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't ride them, so it's not something that I feel the need to really like focus on. I know that's horrible, but I should. But anyways, so he pulls up at the stoplight behind me, and so I waved to him, and we were parked next to each other, and just kind of like, you know, both of us rocking out to our music. He had a huge sound system on his bike. I just have, you know, my pack talk in my helmet, and light turns green. And I'm like, okay. And I hear him like lay on it. And I was like, oh, hell no. So I gun it. And it was awesome. And I'm like 99% sure he let me have it. But I don't care. It made me feel so good. I had so much fun. And we did this for like 4 lights. Just like anytime we'd be stopped next to each other, we'd like kind of laugh and chuckle to each other. And then like it was on. We were waiting for that light to turn green. And then it was really funny because then as we got a little farther into Redlands, you know, it gets a little more congested. There's cars, you know, in the way, kind of like we have right now. And so he would like wave me forward through cars if there was a spot next to him, or I would wave him forward to make room for him. And like I called my dad a couple days later because I was like, oh, I need to tell you, like I felt like a real biker. And I told him, I was like, I've never had that. Like, I always ride with the beard, or I do ride by myself every now and then, but, like, I don't get to play with people like that. And for me, that was so cool. And again, like, I'm 99% sure he let me win. Don't care. Don't care. He solidified me as a biker. So whoever you are, older guy on a red Harley, big old sound system, brain bucket helmet, you know, God bless you, because you really validated me that day, and I needed that, and I was already super proud of myself for conquering the 60, and super proud of myself for making it through 20-mile-per-hour winds. And I'm gonna turn here because I don't want to drive on this shitty road. And oh my God, I've never felt more validated in my life. And so for me, you know, what are those little victories for you guys? Like, what made you feel like a real biker? This memory will be there forever. I will always be super, super grateful for it. I cannot, again, thank that guy enough. I will probably never, ever see him again. But we got to play. We got to have a fun time. And that's what it's about. My dad's like, I've done that a couple times. It's been a long time since I've had somebody do that with me. And that's really awesome. And I was like, yeah. And, like, for me, like, that's where it's at. Like, the wave solidifies it. You know, when you see another bike, wave. You don't know what you're doing for someone. Like, I used to ride like a Vespa, like a little scooter at one point, because I have really bad joints, and like, oh God, I could go on and on, maybe a whole video about how unhealthy my body is. But I remember one of the times I was riding the Vespa and somebody waved like on their bike, and I like lost my shit. I thought it was the best thing in the whole wide world, and it like validated me. And like, bug on the windshield, bug on my helmet, you know, like getting hit with a rock in the arm and like scratching the shit out of yourself, dropping your bike, you know, those are all things that lead up to that validation. And oh my God, I can't tell you how much that made me feel like a legit biker. Like, yes, I'm a weekend warrior. No, I have not ridden across the country and done an iron, but no, I don't, you know, look like I was rode hard and put away wet. Like, thank God I don't look like that. I take a lot of time on makeup already. I don't have that kind of time on my hands. But I just, oh man, if you get the chance to validate someone like that, do it. Because like, that guy was having a blast with me. We were both laughing. We were carrying it on, like, nice little waves. It was so much fun. And, oh, that's a puppy. Sorry, sidetracked. So if you get that chance, do it for somebody. Like, Motorcycle Mama likes to race cops. I like to race little old men on, well, he wasn't little old man, but like old men on Harleys. do what you gotta do, man. Validate yourself. Let somebody else validate you. Just go through and, be that biker you know you are. And don't let anybody else devalidate you either. Like, if you get out on a motorcycle on a semi-regular basis, like on the weekends, whatever, you're a biker. And you don't let anybody take that shit away from you, because you get on a bike with 2 wheels and you risk your life just the same as anybody else. But, alright, little rant over. I gotta figure out where we're going, because I kind of went rogue and made my own turn, and now I don't know what's happening. So, alright, I'm gonna leave it here. Just want to remind everybody, stay safe, stay sassy, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.